To give you an idea, these are the main primers I'm only playing with right now. Just a, but I just wanted you to see that I have all the anti-vibration loops off, so that there's not any, these aren't like tweaked or anything that no one's gonna be able to do on their own. Filter time is set to 1000 nanoseconds, and I'm gonna basically just be turning off faults, and that's the only thing I'm gonna do right now. Should have done this before the stream, but I wanted to show you guys me connected to them. I want you guys to see me connect to them and see what the values were, just for transparency or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so do you guys want me to do the same same prints, or and the max velocity is set to 2000, the acceleration defaults to 50,000 is what I have it set to. Max decel I have a 25,000. I'm not going to raise that again today. And I guess that's how I'm going to leave that. And then I'm going to go with, I think, 30,000 across the board for acceleration machine here, which we can raise ourselves. Actually, the best way to do that, I think, yeah, just zero these out so it won't keep rewriting it, so I can change it to whatever I want. Except for first layer, I'll leave that at 10,000. And I'm going to let the travel speed be the same so it doesn't cause any issues. We're going to start at 400 or 500 millimeters a second should I start at? Oh, we start heating the bed. Bed heater up to full power so it heats faster. Okay. Well, I was thinking starting at 500 because if I set it high and limit the flow rate, that's gonna limit my top speed in Slicer. That's why I was just doing a 0.1 layer height, even though this is a filled filament. The only thing I have to make sure to do if I have the start at 200% is set the first layer to like 50, so it actually does it at 100. Good. Let me just throw some more vision miner down. I crashed into the bed yesterday. I don't know. My mesh probably isn't too accurate. Oh, yeah, but you know what? But we hit 48 millimeters cubic because the first one we did yesterday was at point 0.2 layer height, and so we hit 48 millimeters cubic. I think no problem because I'm running dual extruders, so the extruder on the I have an extruder on the back, and then I have the extruder on the hot end, so I'm pretty okay on that. I can crank the temperature a little bit too if we need. So, all right. So up to temperature. Start the print. Ooh, let me make sure it's not at 200% again. Keep doing that. That 200% speed factor thing is not cool when it's trying to home, and it's already homing at 500 millimeters a second. I think I have to baby stick down a little too, because I think my Z offset is a little light since when I do the glass fiber stuff. Oh, right. Having an issue with that, with being at with it trying to send the M220 code to it, and then it doesn't want to do the home. So let's see if it shouldn't send the M220 now until the first layer, I think. Yeah, that's stayed at 100% now. Okay. Oh shit. Went back up. Whatever. It's not supposed to be homing that fast, but as long as it works, who cares? That's something that I really got a message like Kevin O'Connor about, 'cause I think that's almost like an emergency update that Clipper needs. Really should not apply speed multipliers to homing moves. I can't believe I've never realized it before. But that can cause some really bad things to happen. Because especially when you do a script like this, it sets 200% right away, which is why I set it to 20, I think 50 millimeters a second. So it's only going at 100 right now. But for our homing move, if you already home fast like I do, that's just homed at 1,000 millimeters a second, like an idiot. For the tramming. But more importantly, the dangerous part is the Z moving, trying to move at 32 millimeters a second with a multi-MCU homing. You're not supposed to go over 10, so that was 3 times what is supposed to be the max. You know what? Let me see how complicated this lav mic is. Maybe I can do that right now. Just gotta find it. Yeah, I gotta a Boya wireless lav mic. Here's a nice case. Got batteries for it. Yeah, that'll have to be in the next video, but I bought these wireless ones, so I will do that for the next one. I mean, if I put this on directional and aim it at the printer, it's pretty good. So that's set to front to back. Does that sound good? I mean, you really can't hear much of the printer right now because the printer's silent unless it's moving the Z. So here, to give you guys a better idea. So this is an iPhone recording. You hear my voice here, how loud it is. So this is the point where I was holding it up to the camera. And now I'm gonna bring it over and play it back on the webcam. So to give you guys an idea, my voice here, how loud it is. You guys have a better idea. So how loud this is. The mic's right over here. You hear my voice here, how loud it is. So this is the point where I was holding it up to the camera. And now I'm gonna bring it over. That's how quiet this is playing. That's how quiet it is in the printer. Like you couldn't even tell. Let me go back and do it again. Because now it's... Okay. The only sound is the Z. Oh, here we go. Here's fast. The only sound is the Z. Oh, here we go. Here's fast. So that's what it sounds like inside the printer. With the door closed, you don't even hear that. Okay. There goes sick. having this thing run with acceleration so high and input shaping off, which just makes you forget how much input shaping smooths the movement. It just goes against every bone in your body to see your shelves vibrating. But I will say, for some reason, the steppers made the shelves shake worse. I don't know if the movement is just that much smoother, or maybe it's getting rid of the cable chains, because I don't know. I don't see how cable chains really make that much of a difference, but there actually was a decent amount of weight wires before, without a tool board, so I used to keep all the extra wires in my cable chains, even though I was only using one of them for the tool board, just because I had them there for testing purposes. Yes. So I will. It's the easiest way to do that. Oh, I know how to do it. Take a video on my phone, and then I'll play it back on my phone. So this is showing basically how they run it. This one is set up nicely. We'll put Toolboard down there. This one is further away. So set up the Toolboard there, and the filament runs down to this one. I need to design a mount that mounts the back of my dry box. But that's all. Just real simple. My phone. Post the link in the stream for you, Chris. So we're currently, I think we're pretty much where we were. What did we end at yesterday? 582, I think? Or was it 42? The model for the IGUS chain is question. Why I posted it for someone. Looking for my spool right now so I can get. Oh, here it is. So that's the part number CF130-02-06. I bought it by at school, so for anyone that's in the U.S. that needs any, you know, I have plenty they can send. And also, me and Luke are having IGUS pre-terminate them for us. And we're getting a new version of these guys made. So, we're getting a new version of these made. That's going to be the CAN bus adapter built into it. So it'll have, we already have your termination resistor. You have your power in. Your CAN bus adapter goes in normally here and it has a pass through. And then it connects these in, has a fuse. So instead, it's going to have the actual CAN bus built into it. And be an all-in-one distribution. And then we'll have 3 terminated cables for you guys. So it's going to make it super, super easy. And then with, you know, the main thing that was holding back releasing those was having flashing over CAN. Tell you one thing, prints look way better with input shaping off when you're running at speeds like this. Well, that one currently needs the adapter, but the new one's not going to need the adapter. That's the cable for CAN bus. The cable for the servos is a different one. It's a 6-pin. Oh, wait a minute. Actually, let me double check that. I might be full of shit. That is the servo one. I'm sorry. That is the 6-wire one. So, the sorry, the 4-wire. You can use the 6-wire one for that. Anyway, if you want to separate an extra wire in it. So this stuff is, the other one is, I'll just send it to you. It's not going to do it. But it's 20 gauge 4-wire is the other one that you want to use for toolboards. But you can use that 6-wire. That's 6-wire 24 gauge. And it's rated at 5 amps per conductor if you're using all of them for power. But since we're only using 2 of them for power, it's really no problem. This 5 amps at 24 volts will get you 120 watts. So 250 watt heaters and a motor, you're good. Because you're only going to run 100 watts of heat for initial heat up. Even right now, my extrude heaters are probably averaging like 30%, 40%. So we're 564, 550, 566, yeah, 283, so 290 will be at 580. That's where we failed yesterday, right? 580. I actually am going to be doing that. I have a machine that I have to do and that I have to deliver next week. So on Tuesday I'm leaving to deliver it. So I tried putting the servos on with the stock cable chain and I couldn't because they hit. But I want to try that with just the umbilical and the stock setup to see, because I have a feeling that it'll be pretty damn good. The only problem with the stock setup is it shreds the belts in the back. Actually, Daleguard is he's testing them with the Ender 3. It would actually help anything. But yeah, pressure advance I think I forgot to turn off. So I didn't turn that off. I'll turn that off right now. Just to make sure that doesn't. Well, that was weird. So the extruder got quieter, way quieter with pressure advance off. I almost thought it failed. Because the extruder is actually that high pitched sound that you hear, I think is more the extruder than anything. You know what? That might be the mistake I made. Maybe I shouldn't have shut off pressure vents, because now I hear some crispiness. That's last night we shut off pressure vents in the second one. No, actually the print looks good. I think it's my cables clicking because the zip tie fell down. It shook the zip tie loose. That holds my cables to the extruder. Yeah, I can turn on the ring light. Better? I'm gonna have 60 frames per second, 4K, on the next video. I bought an Elgato HD60 Plus. I was almost gonna buy the Camlink 4K, but that one only did 30 frames per second at 4K. This one does 60 frames per second at 4K, or I think it does 240 at 720p, which my camera, it's a pretty good DSLR. It's the M200, and I think it does 240 frames per second at 720p, and I think it might do 120 at 1080p. So that might be the way to go, to do 120, but even just full 60 frames per second will be good. It's crazy though, in person when you look at it, it almost like makes your vision like blur. (614 millimeters a second). So that means we're flowing, if we're at 300%. Yeah, so we're at 310%, which means that we are flowing. So, sorry, I just gotta check this for a second. So, 8 millimeters cubic on perimeters, and 310%, so 3.1 times 8. So we're only at 24.8 millimeters cubic right now, I think. And that matches up because it just showed 23.8. It's showing 23.8, 23.4, so that's pretty much where it's supposed to be. So we're at 632 millimeters a second right now. Yep, just popping up at 632 on there too. So we know acceleration's still fine. And not for nothing, that thing looks pretty damn good. Why am I not seeing a floor on the boat? Stop extruding? No, it's extruding. I thought it should have started the floor when I heard the fans go on for the bridging, but maybe that was for the inner floor? For inside the cabin? Oh, yeah, actually, well, the spool's in that spool holder. But you know what? Probably gonna be. Oh, they're definitely not gonna be $300 a pair because I'm losing money. Um, I'm I'm thinking they're gonna. I'm trying to get it for less, but right now I don't know what's gonna happen with like duties and all the shipping taxes, all everything else. So I'm trying to make them like 600 or 550. I would love to maybe even get them to 500, but I don't think that's gonna happen for a pair. But that's gonna, I want them to be including cables, you know, all the like the right connectors and everything for them. Like that's motors that you can buy, and you'll be ready to just literally just throw them in the machine. You won't need to. It's not going to be like, not to talk bad about anything, but like O drive is great, but it's like it's a lot of money by the time you buy the O drive, and then you have to buy the motors and you have to buy wires. If you didn't get the full set, then you have to buy an encoder. So these are going to be ready to go in, plug and play. I might end up making a cheaper version that's just step direction, like how like O-Drive and ClearPath and all these other ones are. But I really don't think it's worth it to save the $20 or whatever, you know, a motor to get rid of. I mean, no, we don't want to lose the vector control. Like that's like all that extra processing power. Not only gives us, you know, the extra interfaces, but it gives us. You know, we literally have 4 anti-vibration loops. Like, we might not even need input shaping with these. That's why I wanted to show you guys in the beginning that I have all those set to 0. You know, this is literally, this is just using their own special sauce self-tuning. Like, this is not even being tweaked the right way. My other ones, I sat there with a scope and learned, you know, a lot about PID tuning to get, like, a proper, you know, like the actual real like proportionate value, you know, using a really small as possible integral, and then, you know, finding your derivative. Like it was, I spent weeks tuning them, and these are already blowing them out of the water. That's what I mean, you know, and the technique is, once again, it's a great product, but it's not a 3D printing product. I wanted to finally make something. The only thing we have that's 3D printing products is our hot ends. Other than that, everything about 3D printers is repurposed. I mean, even Bondtech gears, they're great, but I mean, not for nothing. They've been using those for welders forever. Like dual feed gears. We use computer fans. We use just regular machine bearings. You know, tool steel aluminum for a plate. Regular heater. Just there's nothing that's custom. Like that bamboo company is the first company that I see that's doing some actual innovation, which I'm super happy that they're doing. It sucks they beat me to the punch because I wanted to be like the first guy to actually really innovate in a long time. You know, besides Clipper, obviously. I mean, but software-wise, we're doing great things. But no one's done anything like any real. No one wanted to open up their wallet because everything's open source. Is the problem. So I'm trying to make. Hopefully, it doesn't backfire, and I don't get screwed by some Chinese company ripping me off. But I've been trying to keep everything open source and just get paid for my support and consulting. And you know, if it fails, I open up a construction company and go back to doing what I did for my whole life, and I'll be alright. And at least I'll came out with some cool stuff. Hopefully it works out though. Yeah, we can tune them on the fly. We can run a vibration dampening tuning print, and actually the amazing thing we're trying to do, that's that's where Dale Guard comes in, is we're gonna have, you know, once again, I can't make the promises since I'm not the one coding it, but what he's trying to work out for me is having like real-time tuning while you're printing uh, through Clipper. So, I mean, right now we can still tune them, but you have to connect your laptop separately. I'm talking about having like Mainsail, where we can set the settings right in Mainsail and send everything to them, and have it tune itself an accelerometer so it can sense a loose belt, uh, you know, all that stuff. It seems like it's getting quiet. Oh, I have the door closed, that's why. Why is it so quiet? So what speed are we at right now? We're at 367 times 2. 734 millimeters a second is what it should be hitting. I think it's starting to accelerate and drops. Oh, I just saw 731 on the screen. Okay. That's because I've only seen like 650, 738. I just saw 740, 738, 742. Yeah. I mean, I think if someone wants to do the math real quick, the ringing tower should definitely be able to hit over 1,000 millimeters a second to 30,000 acceleration, because at 25K, we were on a 40 millimeter cube. At 20, I think at 25K or 30K, you can hit 500 millimeters a second at 10 millimeters. So we have like 100 millimeters or more to hit that. So effectively, we should be able to hit 1,000 millimeters a second in 20 millimeters. So we should be good. Our limit shouldn't be acceleration. On the bench sheet, will be maybe. I don't know if you guys want me to open the door again so you can hear how loud it is. But I think the picture looks pretty good through the door, actually. Yeah, that's true. I couldn't close it last night because I had the camera too close, and I didn't want to take the chance of moving it away and having everything fall apart. Today I had the cable, the USB cable connected much better. 3DX Tech ASA carbon fiber. Actually, that might be regular ASA. It's 3DX Tech. I can see 3DX Tech on the side of the roll. I honestly, I'll check after it fails. I've been bird brains because I have so many things going on. Shameless plug. I sell 3DX Tech on advanced3dprinting.com. I have like 200 kilograms coming in. I mean, right now I still have a bunch in stock, but I almost never run out. I always keep ASA carbon fiber, glass fiber ABS, a bunch of different regular ASA colors, high temperature nylon carbon fiber, regular nylon carbon fiber, and 30% glass fiber nylon as well. And then I also have KVP. But any patrons can get 10% off, or actually, let me put a coupon in here too. And then I also, I mean, some patrons are, they have pretty high discounts, because anyone with limits, I always get discounts too. You know what, I'm gonna raise all the patron discounts one level, and Oh, I spelled my own website wrong. I don't know if you want to put a coupon in if you're still in here, Chris. My streams are very unpopular. It won't cost you much money. 802, she said. I think we might get, yeah, we're gonna hit 1,000 millimeters a second, I think. Yeah, I know. I last night I didn't have the auto tuning on. I just had it set to default values. Was the other thing I forgot. Because like I said, I just plugged them in. I literally entered some really low for the position loop. I think okay, so it's like 0 to 3,000. I think I had it set to 250 on the position loop. Um, and I had it set to 2,500. I think from 0 to 100,000 on the velocity loop, and integral was off. Now I have it on auto tuning, so they tune themselves. Oh yeah, they work for Hubbard's too. That's gonna hurt. Note to self: raise prices 10%. What's my bait? Oh, let's see if that. Chris, are you still in here? If yes, that's the extruder setup. Yeah, look at the 838 it's sitting right now. It's hard to tell. It's even going faster, honestly. The only way you can really it's 840, 712, 840. I can tell because when I look at the full main cell screen, I see it the camera shaking worse. But on this main camera, I think I'm gonna open the glass, John, because I don't know. For some reason with the door closed, it makes it look slower. Like the extra clarity lets you see the speed better. I don't think they're gonna pop off. I put a ton of vision miner on. For some reason with the door open, you can see the speed better. See? It's weird. Yeah, you can really see it on the ringing tower. On the boat, it's on a small part of the boat, so it's probably not hitting. It's only hitting like 484 on the boat right now. Most parts of it. It's on the small little cabin and then the bow. It's on the small part of the bow. But on the ringing tower, it's hitting 856. Oh yeah, something's getting broken. The last time I was live tuning, I accidentally set my I was meaning to change one value, and I changed my steps per millimeter or steps per rotation, and I was running it at 8,000 steps per rotation, and I accidentally switched to that, and I was meaning to change like put it this way, I ended up setting to like 800 or something like that, and I didn't have any fall protections or anything on, and I bent my Y extrusion and broke my belts and broke a carriage. Basically broke everything except for the Takoto and motors. I mean, the rail was fine too, but I bent the Y extrusion, broke the belts, broke the carriage, broke my extruder, broke the tool board, bent my bird air pipes, everything was broke except for the Takoto, and that had a BL touch on it too, so that was shot. I think Jake was on the phone with me when I did that. I'll tell you one thing, I am really impressed with the quality at this speed. That looks better than some of the benches that I see people asking, like, how is my print? Can you help me tune it? I feel like a dirtbag saying that, but sure. Yeah, it sucked. The worst part about it was like a week after I put on my brand new milled flat Y extrusions. Because obviously when I put the servos on, I was like, oh, let me change my extrusions. Do it all at the same time. You know, being lazy slash efficient. Craziest part about it is this is 6mm belts. Something's coming loose or snapping, not on the part, on the printer. Here's something. Let me see. I don't think I'm like the lighter. Either it's loosening up or something. It's nothing I'm gonna do about it now, but hmm, maybe it's just the sound of the bearings at that speed. Up in the. What do you mean, where they're closest to the carriage? On the right side? Belts could be slipping on the ties, but the carriage is one billet block, so like as far as like the parts that hold the belt, you know, the front plate slides on, which I should be using 4 bolts, but I'm only using the quick change bolts, the 2. For stuff like this, probably is smarter to install all 4. But it has the 2 pins, the 2 locating pins, and the 2 bolts in place, so. But I think I did kind of see what you were talking about. Oh, yeah. Okay. So what it is they're sliding up on the bolt in there. I might have to put a you know what I might have to do? I might have to put a like a little snap ring that stays in between them to keep the bottom one from sliding up towards the top one. That never used to happen, but obviously this is course. That might be the lighting, though, actually, John. That might be the lighting in the camera. No, it's not. You're right. 1000%, you're right. That's crazy. As the delay is, so I'm like saying stuff at the same time reading it. I can't tell if it's the camera. I don't know. I'll have to measure it when it's done. So it's saying 927, 948. I really do think it's gonna hit 1,000. Um, I'm not sure where Clipper is gonna crap out. I mean, I would be super ecstatic if we made it all the way to like 1,200 or 1,500. Let's see, what would the extruder be at that? So I might have to raise the acceleration soon. If you guys want me to raise the acceleration, I'm cool with that. Just let me know. So we're at 960 millimeters a second right now. So 4.8 times 8. We're hitting 38.4 millimeters cubic, which, like I said, it shouldn't be. With a 0.4 nozzle, you should have no problem hitting 50 millimeters cubic on a print like this because it's not sustaining. You know, it's one thing if you sit there and try to extrude 100 millimeters at 10 millimeters a second linear. You know, it's another thing if it's doing little spurts. It's not running its buffer out. It's the easiest way to put it. Alright, since no one really voted on this one, and it's not going to screw anyone, I'm going to raise the, I'm going to do it. So, let's see. Let's start raising the acceleration. Okay. Oh. Oh my god. I shouldn't have done that. I just doubled the Excel to 60,000. My fucking printer's gonna fucking shake apart. I don't mean to curse, sorry. Oh my god. That was a big difference. 998 millimeters a second. Dude, you guys gotta hear what this sounds like. It's starting to. I shouldn't have doubled the Excel. I should have gotten like 10,000 more. Should I drop it back down a little bit and see if it'll save? This is what it sounds like. Sounds like a horse skeleton. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can save the print. Ah, damn it. I shouldn't have doubled the Excel. Well, that hit, uh, I think that said like 1100, no, so, yeah. It made it over 1,000, no problem, and then I shouldn't have gone to 60K on the Excel. It's too late. Safety thing I'm working on, which I uh, I didn't want to completely disable it because it's also there in case something gets super hot or something goes wrong. Which these things aren't. They're like warm, but they're not. Let me grab my temp gun and see what they actually are. Where is my temp gun? What might be in my trunk from my last trip, unless it's over here. So the extruder is only at 90 because I have the dual extruders. The motors are 119 is the max. Wait, the extruder, let me double check that. 117. And this motor, 121 is the max, average is like 122. So that's all Fahrenheit though. So, not bad. Oh, I can go way higher than 60K, just not printing at 1,000 millimeters a second. I think what happens is if you have pressure advance off and input shaping off, the extruder just could not keep up because the print head was moving no problem. It just the parts stopped sticking, you know, and you can see the difference when I let's take a look at the actual print. So stand behind so you can see what I'm showing you guys. Oh man, tripped over it. 1 second. Turn it back on right now. Okay, so I broke the print taking it off, but as you can see, the extruder couldn't start. So I should have left pressure advance on. Pressure advance was helping. Honestly, right around like 800 something, the print was doing really nice. But once again, I think that's all the extruder. But the crazy part is the actual motion isn't that hard. Like, isn't that hardly pretty on point? Oh, boat was doing decent, except this, it couldn't. See, that's it. It couldn't keep up with a solid, infill going at full speed. And I probably, actually, you know what? I probably didn't have many top layers on, because I set it to 0 infill for this, and I lowered the top layers, so I gotta check to see. But not that bad for those speeds. Like this wall is solid. This top, so that's what it was. The extrusion limits, because it could keep up on this infill, but on these long runs, it ran out of steam at that speed. And then I guess we need pressure advance. So I probably have to lower the smooth contour pressure advance next time I try to do this. And it's crazy. So at 30K Excel, it was no problem. As soon as I went higher on it, this fused together. So yeah. Oh yeah. Let me show you exactly where I turned off pressure advance. Right there. So pressure advance does its thing, and I think we need to keep it. I can see how the gap got way smaller too. I feel like if I had pressure advance on, this would have stayed perfect. Input shaping, I think, was off the entire time too. So from what I saw yesterday, input shaping definitely helps the movement not be so violent. So I should leave input shaping on, and then I bet you 60K Excel would be no problem. I mean, like I said, I printed at 100K Excel at 500 millimeters a second. With the other servos, I went up to 800 millimeters a second testing, but I wasn't actually printing. I was just running a print with no filament in the extruder, just to test the motion, and nothing happened. So I think we hit the limit of the extruder. You guys want me to do it again real quick with and leave I guess I'll start at a higher speed. The max flow on the Dakota HE20, technically it's rated for 20, but that's because that's rated for all filaments across the board. So that's why it's called an HE20. But in reality, it's solid at like 35. That's, and I've gone up, in the 40s depending on the filaments. Filled filaments, the higher the fill, the lower. Nylon, stuff like that can get a little lower, but TPU, regular ABS, you're gonna flow like crazy. Or regular, even just plain nylon, plain PC with no fills, you can flow a lot. So you know what? Ooh, this is the first time I remembered to do this. I'm gonna set the Prince multiplier, speed multiplier back to 100, so that I don't shoot anything into my bed. And I'm going to let me restart Clipper. I'm going to try this. I'm going to start at, I guess, so I'm going to go to 50,000. Yeah. No. I'm going to stick with 60,000 Excel. I'm going to leave pressure advance and input shaping on. And I'm going to start at 600 or 800? Oh, start at like 750. Yeah, I mean, it's, honestly, like I said, it's, put it this way, it flows more than a Mosquito Magnum, but it's trying to be safe with what you rate it for. The real purpose of the HE20 is that it's titanium filament path. You can print. I was blowing through mosquitoes and dragons, but you can print whatever you want with and you're not gonna hurt anything. So yeah, I'm gonna start at okay, so I'll start at 750, like John said, which that would be. Okay. Oh, let me check this top layer on the boat. Should I get rid of the boat so it's a faster print and just does the ringing tower? I think so, yeah. Okay. So this should end at a volumetric flow of 72 apparently. Actually, you know what? According to that, where it stopped, we were over 50 millimeters cubic. But you know, once again, it's the other thing you got to remember too is the torque spider when you're printing with a bigger nozzle, your flow rating usually isn't as high, as dumb as that sounds, because you run once again you run the reservoir. Like having a continuous, what your actual continuous flow is. It's like almost like how your water heater, you can take a shower but it has a refill rate. That's how the nozzle works. Yeah, tonight I'm just gonna, it's Sunday night, it's already 11 for me, so I'm just gonna do the one, and starting at 700 millimeters a second, and so it's starting at 25 millimeters cubic. Oh, I'm gonna have to be on point and lowering that speed multiplier again, so that it doesn't screw me up. I should have raised the temperature on the extruder too. I'm gonna do that for this one. I'm gonna raise it to 260. It was at 250. Curious to see how much my belts have stretched and stuff after all doing all this stuff. Oh, I gotta lower this. I was trying to do the first layer at 300. I'll let it do the first layer at like 150. There we go. 140, that's good enough. No, fast. I should have put like a little bit of drag on the filament roll so you could, so this way we could actually see how fast it was moving versus trying to roll in spurts like that. No, I tune the belts with a weight. Honestly, now I usually don't even. I actually just tune them by ear. But guitar tuner is a decent way, but it's better. I like actually tuning them with a weight. You print a little, you know, a little weight. You can put a line on them. You can make sure they're perfectly even on both sides. And with Core XY, it's honestly it's not really that important what they are. It's more important that they're even. You know, there's a decent range that's okay because the belts technically don't actually stretch. You know, it's usually your plastic mounts yielding if it's a plastic mounted printer. But too tight is worse than too loose, I will say that. But you actually square your gantry with your belt tension. Oh yeah, it'll skew the whole gantry. I have a pretty decent video on it that shows, and I have links for the weights for the STL in the description. But I show how I used to do it. Now, like I said, after you do it a few times with them, what's really nice is you'll end up starting to just do it by eye, by pulling the gantry all the way forward and making sure it's perfect. Oh, okay. So can you tell it's got higher acceleration this time? I'm definitely gonna download this and make clips of it. But actually, no, I'm gonna do one more. I'll do a nice video of it at like really high speed. And I don't know, if someone's really good with DaVinci or some other editor, I'll buy the pro version of it. And if they want to help teach me how to use it, I'll help them with their printer. I need to learn how to edit my own videos or get enough money to pay someone to edit them for me. Center the camera a little better. Amazing what a little acceleration will do, right? My printer probably hates me. Yeah, I didn't even think of it that way. Tell you what, it these servos, man, they love the acceleration. just pressure advance and real high acceleration. I mean, I know from experience, the higher the acceleration, the less it relies on the pressure advance. I think the only reason that we need just a touch of pressure advance is because it helps enforce the extruder like jerk limits, kind of. Because that whole I gotta look into how they do the smooth time. I used to know how it was, but they've changed the PA smooth time so much, and the look ahead and everything. But I think it might enforce the extruder acceleration a little better. Because as soon as you turn off the pressure advance, the you just lose layer adhesion. Just the extruder just starts, I think, and I'm running dual extruders, so I really should have no issues. You know, if that's happening to me, other printers don't have a chance. Single extruder. I know it's really corner, but what I'm saying is in this situation, it's, yeah, exactly. Because it's running, it's using Hooke's law to make a pressure model. Oh, something fell off. Oh, my extruder broke. Bet no one's ever seen that happen before. I guess I'm gonna have to beef that up. Oh, there goes that. That was at did anyone see what we were hitting? Were we hitting 1,000 again, or was that around like 960? That was oh, the extruder. The carriage is, you're not breaking the carriage. I mean, you know, the carriage has 4 bolts. I only have 2 of them in right now, but then it has 2 pins, on each side, and then the carriage is not breaking. I mean, I have one-piece versions too, but I like the quick change, so you can just slide front off and leave your belts without having retention. Yeah, I'll make a replay of that for you guys. Actually, yeah, I'll have to download that. Damn, I did not expect that. Oh well. I think that was pretty cool though. So at least it was something interesting that broke this time. But save it, well, just to show everyone where we were. So it was side monitor. So it's at 456. That's the speed that it hit. So that was that's that. Oh, come on, that extruder, that's the first time I've ever seen one of them break like that. I actually have I have an SLS housing. Chris's Tiny Machine got a couple of them made, but they didn't turn out as expected. That's, you know what it is? It's time to throw fixed extruder. That one's never breaking. So, alright, I'm done. I'll make maybe I'll make a version of the orbiter that's just filled in solid. It's not hogged out down there. Oh yeah, I'll check the belts real quick right now. Let's see. So surprisingly, the belts perfect, honestly. And the print was really good too. Damn. There we go. Now you can see it had the wrinkles, but I think that's it wasn't really ringing though. Barely. I don't know if you call that ringing. That's more cooling. Get over that first layer. Alright. Well, next video will be a 4K with a high frame rate, so I'll have instant replays for you, and I will so I'll record the MKV files, and this way if anyone wants to edit or play with the stuff, I'll send it for them. Knock themselves out. Have a great night.